Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam.
26.
Chapter 1, Creation. Canto 1, Creation. Chapter 8, Prayers by Queen Kundi. And today's verses 26, 27, and 28. So, 26 we start. Janma,
Janma,
Aishwarya,
Aishwarya,
Shruda,
Shruta,
Shribhi,
Shribhi,
Edhamana,
Edhamana,
Mada,
Mada,
Man,
Puman,
Na,
Na,
Eva,
Eva,
Arhadi,
Arhati,
Abhidatum,
Abhidatu,
Vai,
Vai,
Vam,
Tvam,
Akinchana,
Akinchana,
Gocharam,
Gocharam,
Janmaishwarya Shruti Shribhi,
Janmaishwarya,
Shribhi, Edamana Madapuman,
Edamana, Madapuman,
Naivahratam Abhidatum Vai,
Naivarhyadi, Abhidatu, Vai,
Tvam Akinjana Gocharam,
Tvam Akinchana
Gocharam, Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribhi,
Janmaishwara Sridhri
Edamana Madapuman,
Edamana Madapuman
Naivaharti Abhidatum Vai,
Naivarga Tapidatu Vai
Tvam Akinjana Gocharam,
Tvam Akinchana Gocharam
Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribhi,
Janmaishwara Sridhri
Edamana Madapuman,
Edamana Madapuman
Naivaharti Abhidatum Vai,
Naivarga Tapidatu Vai
Tvam Akinjana Gocharam.
Tvam Akinchana Gocharam
Ji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmaishwara Sudashri Edhamana Mada Puman Naivarhetta Bidadum Vai Tvam Aginjana Gojaram. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Melinda Maji.
Hare Krishna. Janmantara Shruta Shribi Edamana Madapuman Naivarati Abhidatum Vai Tvam Kinchana Gocharam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shrikala Maji.
Hare Krishna. Janmaishwarya Shrudasribhir Edamana Madapuman Naivarhati Abhidatum Vai Tvam
Akinchana.
Akinchana Gocharam.
Right.
Hare Krishna.
Can read.
Yes. Janma means birth. Aishwarya, opulence. Shruta, education. Sribhi, by the possession of beauty. Edamana, progressively increasing. Mada, intoxication. Puman, the human being. Na, never. Eva, ever. Arhati, deserves. Abhitatum, to address in feeling. Why? Certainly. Tvam, you. Akinchana Gocharam, one who is approached easily by the materially exhausted man. Translation: My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. Purport by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth and education and attractive personal beauty. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences, and this is known as the advancement of material civilization. But the result in that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly. O Govinda, O Krishna. It is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of a quantity of sins that he is unable to commit. Such is a power of uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exaggeration in this statement. Actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency. But there is a quality to such utterance also. It depends on the quality of feeling. A helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name in the great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. A materially puffed up person may utter the holy name of the Lord occasionally, but he is incapable of uttering the name is in quality. Therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely parentage, two, good wealth, three, high education, and four, attractive beauty, are, so to speak, disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. The material or covering of the pure spirit soul is an external feature as much as fever is an external feature of the unhealthy body. The general process is to decrease the degree of the fever and not to aggravate it by material maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that spiritually advanced persons become materially impoverished. This is so discouragement. This is no discouragement. On the other hand, such impoverishment is a good sign as much as a falling of temperature in a good sign is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication, which leads one to be more and more illusioned about the aim of life. Illusioned about the aim of of life. Grossly illusioned persons are quite unfit for entrance into the kingdom of God. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 27. Nama
Nama
Aginchana Vittaya
Akinchana
Akinchana Vittaya
Vittaya
Nivritta Gunavrittaye
Nivritta
Nivrutta
Gunavrittaye
Gunavrittaye
Atmaramaya
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 Shantaya
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 Kaivalya Padaye
Kaivalya
Kaivalya
Padaye
Padaye
Nama
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 Namo Aginchana Vittaya
Namo
Namo
Akinchana
Aginchana Vittaya
Vittaya
Nivritta Gunavrittaye
Nivrutta Gunavrittaye
Atmaramaya Shantaya
Atmaramaya
Atmaramaya
Shantaya
Shantaya
Kaivalya Padaye Nama
Kaivalya
Kaivalya Padaye
Padaye
Nama
Namaha
Namo Aginchana Vittaya
Namo
Namo
Akinchana
Aginchana Vittaya
Vittaya
Vritta Gunavrittaye
Nivrutta Gunavrittaye
Atmaramaya Shantaya
Atmaramaya
Shantaya
Shantaya
Kaivalya Padaye Nama
Kaivalya
Kaivalya
Padaye
Padaye Nama
Namo Akinchana Vittaya
Namo
Namo
Akinchana
Aginchana
Vittaya
Vittaya
Nivritta Gunavrittaye
Nivritta
Nivrutta
Gunavrittaye
Gunavrittaye
Ramaya Shantaya
Atmaramaya
Atmaramaya
Shantaya
Shantaya
Kaivalya Padaye Nama
Kaivalya
Kaivalya
Padaye
Padaye Nama
Na Sharajamaji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो किंजन वित्ताय निवृत्ता गुणवृत्तये आत्मा रामाय शांताय कैवल्यपदये नमः. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right. Shikaramaji. Shikaramaji, I think you are mute.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Namo kinchana vrittaya nivritta gunavrittaye atmaramaya shantaya kaivalya padaye namo. Hare Krishna.
Snigdhamaji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नमो किंचन वित्ताय निवृत्त गुण वृत्तये आत्मा रामाय संताय कैवल्य पतये नमः.
Very good. Milindamaji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. नमो किंचन निवृत्त गुण वृत्तये आत्मरामाय च शांताय कैवल्य पतये नमः.
Right. Can read that.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, actually, I'm having some problem with my network.
Problem with your?
Network, Prabhuji. I might go on and off. So is that okay if I read?
Let's see. Start. We'll see.
Okay,
If we so much breaking, then we'll head out to somebody else. No problem.
okay, Prabhuji. All obeisances unto you. Akinchana vittaya. Avta, completely transcendental to the actions of the material modes. Guna, material modes. Vrittaye, affection. Atma Aramaya, one who is self-satisfied. Shantaya, the most gentle. Kaivalya, Pataye, unto the master of the monist. Namaha, bowing down. Translation: My obeisances are unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and are master of the monist. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. A living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. Therefore, a living being cannot be, in the real sense of the term, a renouncer. A living being renounces something for gaining something more valuable. A student sacrifices his childish proclivities to gain better education. A servant gives up his job for a better job. Similarly, a devotee renounces the material world not for nothing, but for something tangible in spiritual value. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Srila Raghunatha Dasa Goswami and others gave up their worldly pomp and prosperity for the sake of the service of the Lord. They were big men in the worldly sense. The Goswamis were ministers in the government service of Bengal, and Srila Raghunatha Dasa Goswami was the son of the big zamindar of his time. But they left everything to gain something superior to what they previously possessed. The devotees are generally without material prosperity, but they have a very secret treasure house in the lotus feet of the Lord. There is a nice story about Srila Sanatana Goswami. He had a touchstone, and this stone was left in a pile of refuse. A needy man took it, but later on wondered why the valuable stone was kept in such a neglected place. He therefore asked Sanatana for the most valuable thing, and then he was given the holy name of the Lord. Akinchana means one who has nothing to give materially. A factual devotee or Mahatma does not give anything material to anyone because he has already left all material assets. He can, however, deliver the supreme asset, namely the personality of Godhead, because he is the only property of a factual devotee. The touchstone of Sanatana Goswami, which was thrown in the rubbish, was not the property of the Goswami, otherwise, it would not have been kept in such a place. This specific example is given for the neophyte devotees just to convince them that material hankerings and spiritual advancement go ill together. Unless one is able to see everything as spiritual in relation with the Supreme Lord, one must always distinguish between spirit and matter. A spirit master, a spiritual master like Srila Sanatana Goswami, although personally able to see everything as spiritual, set this example for us only because we have no such spiritual vision. Advancement of material vision or material civilization is a great stumbling block for spiritual advancement. Such material advancement entangles the living being in the bondage of a material body, followed by all sorts of material miseries. Such material advancement is called anartha or things not wanted. Actually, this is so. In the present context of material advancement, one uses lipstick at a cost of 50 cents, and there are so many unwanted things which are all products of the material conception of life. By diverting attention to so many unwanted things, human energy is spoiled without achievement of spiritual realization, the prime necessity of human life. The attempt to reach the moon is another example of spoiling energy because even the moon is reached, the problems of life will not be solved. The devotees of the Lord are called akinchanas because they have practically no material assets. Such material assets are all products of the three modes of material nature. They foil spiritual the possess products of material nature, the more we have a good chance for spiritual progress. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no direct connection with material activities. All his acts and deeds, which are exhibited even in this material world, are spiritual and without affection to the modes of material nature. The Lord says that his appearances in and out of the material are transient. One who knows this perfectly shall not take his birth in Godhead. The material disease is due to hankering after and lording it over material nature. This hankering is due to an interaction of the three modes of material nature, and neither the Lord nor the devotees have attachment for such false enjoyment. Therefore, the Lord and the devotees are called Nivritta Gunavritti. The perfect Nivritta Gunavritti is the Supreme Lord because he never becomes attracted by the modes of material nature, whereas the living beings have such a tendency. Some of them are entrapped by the illusory attraction of material nature. Because the Lord is the property of the devotee and the devotees are the property of the Lord reciprocally, the devotees are certainly transcendental to the modes of material nature. That is the natural conclusion. Such unalloyed devotees are distinct from the mixed devotees who approach the Lord for mitigation of misery and poverty or because of inquisitiveness and speculation. The unalloyed devotees and the Lord are transcendently attached to one another. For others, the Lord has nothing to reciprocate, and therefore he is called Atmarama, self satisfied. Self satisfied as he is the master of all monists who seek to merge into the existence of the Lord. Such monists merge within the personal effulgence of the Lord, called Brahmajyoti, but the devotees enter into the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, which are never to be misunderstood as material. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 28. Manye
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 Tvam
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 Kalam
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 Ishanam
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 Nadi Nidanam
Nadi
Anadhinidhanam
Nidanam
Vibhum
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 Samam
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 Charantam
Charantam
Charandam
Sarvatra
Sarvatra
Bhutanam
Bhutanam
Yan
Yan
Mitha
Mitha
Kali
Kali
Manye Tvam Kalameshanam
Manye Tvam Kalameshanam
Anadinadhanam Vibhum
Anadinidhanam Vibhum
Samam Charandam Sarvatra
Samam Charantam Sarvatra
Bhutanam Yan Mitha Kali
Bhutanam Yanmida Kali
Manye Tvam Kalameshanam
Manye Tvam Kalameshanam
Anadinidhanam Vibhum
Anadinidhanam Vibhum
Samam Charandam Sarvatra
Samam Charantam Sarvatra
Bhutanam Yan Mitha Kali
Bhutanam Yanmida Kali.
Shailajamaji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Manye Tvam Kalameshanam Anadhinidhanam Vibhum Samam Charandam Sarvatra Bhudanam Yanmida Kali. Hare Krishna.
Prikalamaji.
Hare Krishna. Manye tvam kalam ishanam anadinidhanam vibhum samam charandam sarvatra bhudanam yanmita kali. Hare Krishna.
Right. Melindamaji.
Hare Krishna. Manyatvam kalam Om. Hare Krishna.
Read once more.
Manyatvam kalam ishanam anadi nidhanam vibham samam charantam sarvatra bhutanam yanmita kali.
Right. Yes, Snigdamaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Manyetam kalameshanam Meshanam Adi Nidhanam Vibhum Samacharantam Sarvatram Bhutanang Yanmitha Kalihi. May I read the synonyms?
Yes.
Synonyms. Manye, I consider. Tvam, your lordship. Kalam, the eternal time. Ishanam, the supreme lord. Anadi Nidhanam, without beginning and end. Vibhum, all pervading. Samam, equally merciful. Charantam, distributing. Sarvatra, everywhere. Bhutanam, of the living beings. Yat mitha, by intercourse. Kalihi, dissonance. Translation. My Lord, I consider your leadership to be eternal time, the supreme controller without beginning and end, the all-pervasive one. In disturbing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living things are due to social intercourse. Purport. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Kunti Devi knew that Krishna was neither her nephew nor an ordinary family member of her paternal house. She knew perfectly well that Krishna is the primeval Lord who lives in everyone's heart as the Supersoul, Paramatma. Another name of the Paramatma feature of the Lord is Kala, or eternal time. Eternal time is the witness of all our actions, good and bad, and thus resultant reactions are destined by him. It is no use saying that we do not know why and for what we are suffering. We may forget the misdeed of which we may suffer at this present moment, but we must remember that Paramatma is our constant companion, and therefore he knows everything past, present, and future. And because of the Paramatma feature of Lord Krishna, distinct are action and reactions. He is the supreme controller also. Without his sanction, not a blade of grass can move. The living being are being be given as much freedom as they deserve, and misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. The devotees of the Lord do not misuse their freedom, and therefore they are the good sons of the Lord. Others who misuse freedom are put into miseries destined by the eternal Kala. The Kala offers the conditioned souls both happiness and miseries. It is all predestined by eternal time. As we have miseries uncalled for, so we may have happiness also without being asked. For they are all predestined by Kala. No one is therefore either an enemy or friend of the Lord. Everyone is suffering and enjoying the result of his own destiny. This destiny is made by the living beings in course of social intercourse. Everyone here wants to lord it over the material nature, and thus everyone creates his own destiny under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. He is all pervading, and therefore he can see everyone's activities, and because the Lord has no beginning or end, this is known also as the eternal time Kala. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashlakaya
शलाकया
Chakshurmelim Yena Tasmai
दशरन्मिलितं
Shri
येन
Gurave
तस्मै
Namaha
श्रीगुरवे
Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stavidam
इष्टं
Yena
येन
Bhutale
भूतले
Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadadi Sudandigam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudhapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsam Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Saganaraganadanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivishakan Vidam Sam Namo Om Vishnapadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Made Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namne Shri Vashabhanavi Devi Daityaya Kribabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnanadayine Prabhave Namah Madhuryo Jala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktidam Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastude Namaste Gauravani Shri Mutaye Dinadarine Rupanuga Viridapasiddhanda Dvandaharine Namo Bhakti Gaura Kishoraya Sachal Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambode Padambuje Te Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Surubaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannadhaya Te Namaha Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Gatta Dasa Raghunatha Echai Goshai Kori Charan Bandhan Jahamote Vignanash Abhishta Puran Vancha Kalpadrubhascha Kraba Sindhubhyeva cha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurattushe Namam Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktigam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Gopesha Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Jayadam Sardo Pangor Mamamandamate Gadi Mat Sarvaswapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadumada Srimad Nagara Simhasanastau Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshthadavi Sevyamano Smarami Sriman Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vadattarasthidaha Kashan Venuswaneir Govi Govinada Shrietanam Taganjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasavi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram 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 Hare Hare Janma Ishwarya Shudashribi Yadamanamadapuman Naivahadi Abhidadum Ve Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. Hare Krishna. So Krishna is known as Uttama Shloka, one who is glorified by choice poetry. So this is actually choice poetry. What Srimati Kunti Devi is reciting is one of the most beautiful verses in Srimad Bhagavatam, glorifying Krishna, his qualities, and his devotees. So, Kunti Devi also considers herself as one of the devotees because, in the sense that she is very much favored by Krishna. She feels that she's even more favored than Devaki Mataji because Krishna saved her and her children so many occasions, so many occasions. So she thinks that she's and her children are being specially favored with Krishna. And she's welcoming more and more dangers. This is an extraordinary quality of a devotee. They are anxiously waiting for calamities to happen. So once calamities happen, Krishna will appear and they can take his darshan. And the advantage of taking darshan is that you can stop the cycle of PODD. So this is a height of a devotee's aspiration for Krishna. And now in this present verses, she's comparing a pure devotee with a non-pure devotee, a mixed devotee. Mixed devotee is one who, although understands Krishna is a supreme personality, is a supreme, still she cannot worship Krishna very sincerely because he is very much attached to matter. He is very much attached to Purushartha. We know the Purushartha, Dharma.
Artha Kama Moksha.
Yes, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And Artha means economic development. So people who are very fond of economic development, who aspire for economic development, they have some yardsticks for economic development, certain parameters by which they can measure economic development. And such few parameters of till advancement or economic development is mentioned here in Srimad Bhagavatam verses. One is high parentage, Janma. Everyone is interested to be born in a very aristocratic family. And we are very proud if we are born in an aristocratic family. We'll talk endlessly about our Purvajas, ancestors, who they were. They were kings, they were magistrates, they were big zamindars. And so many ways they remember all our ancestors very proud, with great pride, because we are part of that great family. And the second one is good wealth, Aishwarya, opulence, having very nice houses, very nice children, properties everywhere, good bank balance, jewelry, a lot of food grains, animals like elephants, horses. Previously, a man's wealth was measured in terms of this his possession of grains, animals like elephants and horses, etc. So wealth is measured in those terms. And then you have high education, Shuta. Everybody is interested in having high education. We aspire for high education for ourselves and for our children. And we always feel very happy, very pretty when they are well placed. They are doctors, they are engineers, they are IITians, they are studied for postgraduate courses in America, Australia, and all those countries. We gloat all these things. Maybe we have also studied in these foreign countries and acquired big degrees, education qualifications, and our children also acquiring these qualifications. And this kind of education is considered to be very highest in our society, this material education. And of course, the last one is beauty. Everybody is attracted by beauty. If you have very nice features, people will be attracted to you. And everyone likes to be attracted by someone. Everyone likes when we are attractive to others, when we can attract others. So these are the 4 yardsticks of economic development. And conversely, if you're looking at from a Vaishnava point of view, we are very happy if we are a member of a Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava family. We consider our Gaudiya Vaishnava family to be the highest, and we are very proud to be a member of such family. So one of the reasons for initiation is that we officially join this family. So people with less knowledge, what Srila Prabhupada say, poor fund of knowledge, they very happy when they have born in a aristocratic family. But Vaishnavas, they're very happy because we have a great family, starting right from Brahmaji, all those Vaishnava, big Prahlad Maharaja, and all those Dhruva Maharaj, so many Maharajas. Then, of course, dear Narada and Vyasadeva, Shukadeva Goswamis, so many family, so many members of family, and all our Gaudiya Vaishnava Paramparas, starting from Madhvacharya up to Srila Prabhupada. So it gives us so much pleasure and what you can say, support, a sense of belonging, that we belong to this family. and we feel very well protected spiritually by being member of this family. So this good wealth, here it is mentioned that akinchana, one who is materially exhausted. Next verse will be more described. So the persons who are having these material assets, they do not understand that these are only temporary assets, but because of the ignorance, they become very puffed up. We are having all this, and we cling on to it. And we boast about this. Such persons may also take the name of the Lord sometimes. Abhidadum means taking the names of the Lord. But the main purpose of taking the names of the Lord is either to continue this material prosperity which they are currently enjoying, and maybe a thanksgiving because of Krishna we were able to have this. So that kind of feeling only they'll have. We will not have love and affection for Krishna. They will not have rather. Because their primary concern is their family, their status, their country, etc., etc. And they, though theoretically accepts that we are souls only, but are more keen enjoying with the body than be very serious about the study of soul. So these people cannot really utter the names of Krishna very sincerely. Srila Prabhupada makes a very nice statement here, very great fact about chanting. They say that if we can chant the name of Krishna, Govinda, and all those names of Krishna, one can be easily destroy all of his karmic reactions. It's a fact. It's not exaggeration. We have this incident of Ajamala. But then it is also, we should understand that the quality with which we are chanting the names is also equally important. So this quality of chanting is protected by avoidance of these 10 aparadhas, offenses. But people who are more inclined for this material prosperity of Janma Ishwara Shuddha Shribi, they are not very concerned about avoiding offenses while chanting the holy name. Because their interest is not to develop the Krishna Prema, but to maintain their present status in life and improve on this. So Srila Prabhupada says actually material advancement is like fever. It's a symptom of a spiritual ill health. The more you are advancing materially, the more you are going down spiritually. So this material advancement is characterized by high rise in fever. So just like lowering the degree of fever is a good sign, same way, if we are exhausting our material assets or we are losing our material assets, it's a very good sign for spiritual advancement. So the principle essence of this verse is that you should be more and more detached with the material intoxication and more attached to the real values of the human life, which is tattva jnana, and use this desires, kamas, only to a barest minimum extent possible, just to keep the body and soul together. Otherwise, those who are still engrossed in material advancement, they are not fit to enter the kingdom of Krishna. Now, these devotees, they say akinchana, but akinchana, they have a great advantage over these material people. There is which is given mentioned in the next verse. Verse 27. Namo akinchana vittaya nivritta gunavrittaye atma ramaya shantaya kaivalya padaye namaha. My obeisances are unto you, who are the property of material impoverished. You have nothing to do with actions and reactions of material bones of nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and the master of knowledge. So Srila Prabhupada starts the purport with a very philosophical observation. He says that a living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. It's a very strong statement. Actually, very strong statement. A living entity is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. So we were surprised by that, because actually we feel that material possession is bad for our spiritual advancement. So how a living entity can possess something if he is only interested in getting detached from material possessions? Here, because Srila Prabhupada says a living entity is a living, as a mentions, it is full of life. Life means there is a desire. Answer, desire means there is a desire for possessions. So he cannot be renounced. Srila Prabhupada says, I give example that when we give up something lower, we can acquire something higher. So he gives an example of childish people, or a student who gives up his childish proclivities, and then he starts very seriously on his studies. The servant gives up his job for a better job, like that. Same way, the devotee also gives up the material life, but catches hold of the spiritual life. He also wants have something substantial, tangible. And what is this tangibility? What is this possession? Akinchana vittaya. Akinchana vittaya means Krishna is a property of these materially exhausted devotees. And how Krishna becomes our property? When we understand Krishna and ourselves. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and we are the enjoyed. Krishna, you can say, is a primary enjoyer. We are secondary enjoyers. When we serve Krishna, the result which we want to get from our service is obtained when Krishna is pleased with our service. So that is our reward. That is our reward for service. the devotee also needs some rewards. Because that is reward is something which we possess. So Srila Prabhupada says the living entity is finished when there is nothing to possess. Devotee also is possessing. What is his possessing? This is reward from Krishna. Krishna is happy. Krishna is pleased. Then we are pleased. So Krishna is a primary enjoyer. We are the secondary enjoyers. Srila Prabhupada says many times that when you give very good service to Krishna, in any which way, like dressing up, giving a nice prasadam, etc., then you can see Krishna smile. Experience that, Mataji?
No, Prabhuji.
You're very frank. Same way. I also not seen. Sometimes I feel that Krishna is smiling, but very second you can see Krishna is very grim also. But that it is a sometimes you really feel that he is smiling. May not be because we don't know the reason for his smile, because we don't feel that we have done something extraordinary service, nothing like that. But somehow, sometimes we feel that he's smiling. Anyway, but Srila Prabhupada says
And
is when you
our heart is not purified, no, sir, Prabhuji. Our heart is not purified that much.
yeah,
That's
that
why
is
we are not
that is
experiencing.
what you say is right, because we are now giving service from our conditioned platform. We are in amongst the gunas, but the thing is, like we say, this is sincerity with which offer, because we know that we are in gunas and we are trying to get out of gunas by the mercy of Krishna, and with that sincerity we try to do some service to Krishna. Although it is laced with gunas, it is not pure, but still Krishna may see the purpose with which uh, we are entering service, and then he may be pleased. Because it is not possible for us in our conditioned state to render pure service to Krishna. No, it's not possible. Rather, we serve Krishna, Srila Prabhupada. When we serve Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, and then Krishna will be pleased. Actually, we are doing that only because, to be very frank, from my personal point of view, I don't feel that I have a very good contact with Krishna. Although we chant and all the yes, it is say, but we are more connected to Srila Prabhupada, and we are trying to please Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. When he says chant Hare Krishna, which you are trying to please Srila Prabhupada. And when we read Bhagavad Gita, when we do whatever service, we are trying to please Srila Prabhupada. When you give class, or you cook for Krishna, or distribute books for Krishna, it is a service rendered to Srila Prabhupada because we are doing on instruction of Srila Prabhupada. So that way, although we are not pure, very much in the moods, still we are trying to do something. And we understand the philosophy, the tattva, that we are Prakriti, we are secondary enjoyers only. And we try to please Krishna, and Krishna is pleased, we are also pleased. That should be our aim. Now, suppose I give a class, I feel that I've given a very good class. I covered many points. I can speak more on this subject. I feel very pleased with myself. So that is what is that kind of pressure? I'm enjoying as a primary enjoyer. We are not the primary enjoyer. We are secondary enjoyers. Same way, whatever service we do, when we feel that we are done very well, and they may be looking for some appreciation, whatever it is. And then should have the intelligence to understand that what is really happening is that we are now stepping into the shoes of Krishna. We are trying to be the primary enjoyers, while actually we are not. In Chaitanya Chidamritam, this is the 9th chapter, is say, desire tree of devotion service. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, after receiving order from Madana Mohana and senior devotees, is starting to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita with the intention, he says, with the intention of purifying himself. With the intention of purifying himself, he is writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, the intention is not that I am going to be a great writer, this is going to be great work and I'll be a great writer. It may be appreciated, it may work out to be a great work, but that is coincidental. The real aim is to purify ourselves. Same way, whatever service we are rendering to Krishna is purely for the purpose of purifying ourselves. Like you said that we are not pure, so our effort is to purify ourselves. Other things are coincidental. Like, okay, you make a good prasadam, you appreciate it. Now, what to do with that reward? This is a reward which you are getting from others. What we should do with that reward? Because we have got it now. Now, what to do now? If we keep it to ourselves, then we are taking it as a primary enjoy, isn't it? So what we should do? We just say that Srila Chaitanya Krishna's too. You just offer to Krishna. I got this appreciation from others only due to your mercy because I am rendering service to you only. And they are pleased with that and then give me some appreciation. So actually it belongs to you only, Krishna. So that way we are bereft of this burden of the reward. If we are trying to keep the reward to ourselves, then it becomes a burden for us. And then our spiritual advancement will be stopped. This happens to most of us. I mean, people who are not actually very precisely trying to understand things. When we get appreciation, then we are overwhelmed. We like to continue with that. We want more and more appreciations and all that. It's a very, what do you call it? Very dangerous. So a devotee always wants some reward, and the true reward is that when Krishna is pleased with his service, then only he will be able to really give up these material assets. Otherwise, you will not be. So suppose you are getting this appreciation, you want appreciation, then which means actually this material only. So you will not be able to give up this material assets like Janmaishwarya Shuddhi. Only when you are truly understand that this is a pure reward is appreciation of Krishna only, pleasure of Krishna only. That is a higher taste. So our great Shad Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, we know that they are all very, 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 very well placed materially from material point of view, but they gave it everything for the sake of service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, and Srila Prabhupada very briefly mentions a story connected with Sanatana Goswami. You know this story, no? Everybody should be knowing this.
Yes.
But we may not go into this because we already 10 minutes. So, the devotees are materially exhausted, but their greatest treasure is Krishna. It's Akinchana Vittaya. Akinchana Vittaya means that materially impoverished devotee, one who has got no, not even a trace of materialism. And another way of looking at it is this Akinchana is a treasure of Krishna also. The other way of looking at it. So both are Kinchana. Krishna as well as devotees are Kinchana.
Yes. Krishna says to Rukmini Mataji, Krishna says in Dasamaskanda to Rukmini Mataji that I am Akinchana, nothing is there with me. Why you come to me?
Yes. I'm a pauper. You got
Yeah,
so many wealthy Kshatriya kings standing in
yeah.
line to to marry you. Why you opted for me? So they are both wealth. Reciprocally, devotees are the treasure of Krishna, and Krishna is the treasure of devotees. Uh, so material advancement is actually a stumbling block for devotees because we are so much attracted by these small things, material things, and we are always attracted by these distractions. And Srila Prabhupada says one example that now we are trying to go to moon. Even if we go to moon, what achievement you are getting? The prime problem of human society, our society, of human beings, is not solved, or living entities rather. The primary problem of a living entity is not solved by going to moon or some Mars or something like that. And what is that primary problem? Yes, we are
BODD.
discussing. Yes, PODD only. Srila Prabhupada says that these scientists, politicians, and all those people will just keep aside this primary problem and concentrate on other problems generated by the kleshas. Adhibodhiya, Adhyatma, Adhibodhiya, and Adhidevika.
Adhidevika.
So these kleshas, since it looks to be tangible, we are experiencing this. So everybody is interested in getting out of this, and all the efforts of these scientists and the politicians is to reduce this tapatraya instead of actually the cause of this tapatraya. That is a foolishness. Srila Prabhupada says and Vishwanath Thakur says, this property, this material wealth is a product of the material gunas. The material wealth is a product of material gunas. But Krishna is nivritta gunavrittaye. Krishna has got nothing to do with gunas. So if you want to get Krishna, then you have to give up the gunas and the wealth generated by gunas. Of course, there is concept of Yukta Vairagya also. This can be employed in Krishna's service, that is there, but you should not use it for yourself. Anasakta Sevishan Yadaham Ubayunchade Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha Vairagyam Yukta Mushyade. Yukta Vairagyam Uchade. You can use anything. You can use whatever matter is say. So here there is a paragraph for that the less advanced devotees, the karmis, of course, they don't know what is spirit. The less advanced devotees, they always try to distinguish between matter and spirit. Oh, the matter is bad, spirit is there, and you should not use money and all those things. Matter is there. Matter will only contaminate us. It spoil our consciousness. We should always stick to spirituality. Greatly developed advanced devotees, they don't make any distinction between matter and spirit. Because for them, both is belong to Krishna and should be utilized for the service of Krishna. So one who knows that Krishna has got absolutely no connection. Here there is a sentence, Srila says, Srila Prabhupada quotes, in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that all his acts, even his appearance and disappearance in and out of the material world, are transcendental, and one who knows this perfectly shall not take his birth again in this material world, but will go back to Godhead. Which is the verse? One who knows the divine nature of Krishna's activities and birth will not take birth
Janma
again.
karma,
Janma
janma karma
karma cha me
Yes, exactly. Janma karma chame divyam om
divyam
yoviti tattaha. Tektva deham punarjanma neti mameti.
Punarjanmam demam tiktva.
So Krishna is a perfect nivritta gunavritti. He now becomes attracted by the modes of material nature, where we have a tendency to be always bewildered by this Maya. Maya is always under control of Krishna. In the last chapter, seventh chapter, the beginning, we have these verses. Bhakti yogena manasi, samyak pranihide amale, avashyat purusham purnam, mayam chat bhashayam. This is the experience of transcendental experience of Vedavyas when he's meditating on Krishna with pure devotion and without a trace of matter. He's able to see Krishna along with Maya, who is dependent on Krishna, who is controlled by Krishna. While the same Maya acts as a bewilderment for Jiva. Next verse is that Yaya samohido Jiva Atmanam Trigunaatmagam. So, because this Maya is bewildering the living entity, he considers himself to be a product of this material. Although he's superior to matter, he considers himself, and based on this illusion or bewilderment, he starts acting and he has to give them and suffer the consequences also. So there's a tendency on the part of living entities to be attracted by matter, but Krishna is never attracted by Krishna. That is why it's called Nivritta Gunavritti. And of course, his devotees also, pure devotees also, by the grace of Krishna, they are also Nivritta Gunavritti. So these pure devotees are different from the mixed devotees, which is mentioned in the previous verse. Janma Aishwarya Shudashri Veer. One is more interested in economic development. So unlike devotees, Lord are transcendently attached to one another. And not devotees and the Lord are transcendently attached to one another. Because they are both placed in the same platform. So they are always attracted. Because Krishna, in the next verse, you will see that Krishna is nobody's friend and nobody's enemy. But one who is totally dependent on Krishna and has acquired his nature, Satchitananda, then that person becomes very dear to Krishna. So he's always reciprocating to the devotees, but he's not reciprocating to others. Because he doesn't have to reciprocate. Why you want to get reciprocate? Because you need something. You're looking for something. You want something. That's why you're reciprocating. With devotees, Krishna is reciprocating because it is mutual. But for others, he's not reciprocating because he's Atmarama. He doesn't have to be reciprocating or he is not looking for anything because he's fully satisfied by himself. So why should he reciprocate to these people, karmis and jnanis? He will not reciprocate, but he'll reciprocate devotees only. To karmis and devotees, he'll give according to their desires. Shantaya Krishna is always peaceful and is most gentle. So with the karmis, they want some fruity results. He rewards that. And for the jnanis, the monois, the desire for liberation, he grants that also. But reciprocation and interaction is only between devotees. So that is the crux of these two verses. Next verse we'll take up tomorrow. Okay. Any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you very much. Vancha
Krishna.
kalpatarubyascha.
Bhakti Bishop.
पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील
Jai.
प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai
जय
Ho.
बोल
Thank you.
प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल।
Hare Hare
हरे
Bol.
कृष्णा। Thank you
All
so much.
blessings to Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas.